This is the Saucony Endorphin Elite 2, and today we're answering the question, is this still the best racing shoe you can get out right now? And does the $160 price point make it worth picking up for you at home when you're comparing a $160 shoe to some of the other things that are in that price point? As always, we'll go through and do the review with a 10-minute pace, 8:30 pace, and something under 7-minute pace, depending on what the shoe gives us. We'll get it on foot, do a quick fit and feel test, make sure you know the sizing you need, and then we'll get into the run. I do expect this is going to be pretty bang on quick with the sub 7-minute pace. Now, I did buy this from a fellow hobby jogger out here from the Supwell app. If you don't know Supwell, that's Yuana. He has a big YouTube channel as well, and I follow a lot of what he does, and was able to get this for a pretty good deal. At 160 brand new, it's a good deal. I was able to get this for even less than that, and it has 6 miles on the treadmill. So it was just not quite stable enough for him, and that's going to be a big part of this conversation. Like, where does it make sense for a shoe like this to really end up in a race rotation? Like, for most of us mortals out here, is it like 5K and 10K racing where maybe we can run fast enough for that period of time where it makes sense? Or can it go all the way up to the marathon distance without losing some of the stability that we need in a shoe that's going to be on our foot for multiple hours? So it is really light, and it is the highest energy return shoe that Run Repeat has ever tested. So this is up over 80% energy return, which is just absolutely nutty for a foam like this to even exist. I'm really excited to get this first run in it. I have not gotten to run in it yet, but I'm really ready to see what it does, especially at the faster pace. So in terms of weight, we're under 7 ounces. I think Run Repeat had it at 6.9. Saucony had it listed at 7 ounces. So anything in that 7 and below range is going to be pretty light. Some of these like super hyper shoes are getting down under like 6 ounces into the 5 range, but I think that is a little less common. This being under 7, I think, is absolutely in the cards, and I can feel it's a little tight on my toe up here. I do not have a whole lot of extra room, which will be a consideration for you. I'll do a close-up of that in just a second. We have an 8mm heel to toe drop. That's always going to vary. So this is 39.5 in the heel down to 31.5. So 8mm. Some folks like Mizuno are going to that lower heel to toe drop so they can add more stack up in the forefoot. It's always just going to depend on what the goal coming out of that is. The upper on this also just incredibly lightweight, incredibly breathable. You can obviously straight through it. Ventilation is not going to be a problem whatsoever. We'll go ahead and get a look at where my toe is when my heel's seated in the back. So you know, most people probably want to go up a half size just so you know there. And then we'll get a squish test and get into the run. All right, so taking a look here, my heel is all the way in the back, and I've got just about like a quarter thumb here. So I would like to have a little more space, especially if I were to go a marathon distance. And the squish here is really the like talk of this shoe. It is just so compressive. The cool thing is this foam, the harder you hit it into the ground, the more it stiffens up. It's actually kind of like a non-Newtonian fluid in that like the harder you hit it, the more it firms up, which is I think where that really big energy return comes from. I'm super excited to get this on. I want to know how it feels when we're really kind of ripping some pace. It should be a good time. So other than the fit being a little bit snug, I'm super excited for this. I think it's going to be an awesome time to get some running in it. I'm going to go ahead and do this normal review, like the 10-minute pace, 8:30 pace, and under 7-minute pace, like normal. I'll get a couple of more miles in, probably take us up to 6. And this is my long run day, so I'm going to switch into the Topo Spectre for the last 10 miles and see how it does on some tired legs. I'll split it into 2 videos, so if you're just interested in the Endorphin Elite 2, you can watch the rest of this and go on your merry way. If you want to see how it feels coming out of this and into the Spectre, by all means, roll into that video after this one, but I wanted to split them up. If these videos are helpful for you, you can always take a look at the Ontos running brand. It's my brand, really. The hat is the big thing. I spent a lot of time custom designing the hat fully. Everything from brim length to the elastic closure on the back and the really breathable mesh up top is all there. But I also have really awesome tanks like this. This is $30 and it's a really good tank. So that's what I'm going to be wearing on my run today. With that said, I guess we should just get into the run. So the toe box is roomy enough. I actually am not feeling any tightness or confined feel there, which you sometimes get on race shoes. So we like that, even though it's a little bit short on the toe. And something I'm going to keep in mind is the stability. So the cutout right there is, you know, substantial. So it's not the most stable feeling, but going slow, it feels really squishy, which I like. Obviously, again, run repeat numbers say it's incredibly soft, because it is, but it's like not uncomfortable to go slow at all. I just don't know if I'd want to do it for 26 miles. Also, while like I'm sure we'll be happy to go fast, it's not actually like yelling at me to go fast. I said like the Topo Spectre was like really pushing me to go fast. I'm fine going the pace I'm supposed to be going right now, a 10-minute pace. It's just really nice and fun. I like this so far. As we're running through this first mile here, we are getting a little bit ahead, which is not like terribly surprising, but it's really interesting to feel this versus like an Alpha Fly, because they're like relatively similar in weight, but the Alpha Fly almost feels hard to run in. It's good, it's fast, it's aggressive, it is what my half marathon PR is in, and it's very stable, which is why I like it. But it's kind of hard to figure out how to run on that zoom unit. It feels pretty unforgiving to me in terms of like running easier. If I'm running like at my half marathon pace, which is like 6:45, I can finally get up onto the zoom units and feel like I'm getting a benefit from that. But these here at this pace, like, it just feels really smooth. It doesn't feel overly rockered. It just feels like that transition from your heel to the toe is so nice. So very pleasant experience so far is kind of what I'm trying to convey. I guess back to stripey lines, but 9:33 for that mile. I feel like that is very reasonable to be able to do, like to not have to go run super crazy fast and still have a really enjoyable ride. It's kind of like what we're after. Well, like not in every sense of that. Like, to be honest, this probably isn't a shoe I would recommend for folks who are running 10-minute pace for a marathon. Really smooth, really fun, enjoyable ride, yes. But I'm just not going to trust that this is stable enough for that distance. I don't know if the foam's going to take 4.5, 5 hours of pounding on the pavement. I think a more stable option, honestly, something like an A6 Mega Blast, or if you want a carbon plated shoe, the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4 or 5, because we're talking about sales, the 4 would be on sale, the 5 is current. You can get shoes like that and get the vast majority of the benefit just with kind of less downside, if you will. When I did the Kiawah Island Marathon last year, I was dealing with a lot of cramping. I ran quite a bit slower than I would have expected. And the amount of folks I saw in really, really aggressive racing shoes that were pronating really bad, like dumping in really hard. Not that pronating is inherently bad, but I think when we're trying to overstabilize and that becomes a weak point in the system, that's a negative in my eyes. So when I saw that many people in that position, I'm like, I was wearing Vomero 18s. Like, I just wanted that to be more of a like learning experience. Like, I wanted to do it as a workout the first half at 2 hours and then get some full marathon race pace work in and then slow it down through the end. Didn't end up going that way. But all of that to say, I think a lot of folks in that time pace could do well with a really wide lasted. So like a wide cutout. Like, this is not a very wide cut shoe. And I think that just makes it harder to stabilize. So if you have a Mega Blast, which is really chunky, I'll put a picture of that up here, really chunky on the width, that's awesome. That's going to make it much more stable, and there's more foam overall. So you have more stack height. That means there is more foam there to compress, but it's still the aliphatic TPU that has crazy high energy return. So what are we really losing by doing that? Maybe some stiffness, but the weight is really light. It's under 8 ounces, so it's almost the same weight as these here. Again, what are we losing by doing that? So maybe not the best race day shoe for that 10-minute pace group, if that makes sense. We'll go ahead and get into the next mile, 8:30 pace, see what we do there. I'm going to keep going this way because it is really busy that way. College kids are just getting back into town at Appalachian State University, and so it's busy. We'll go this way, see how 8:30 pace feels. I think it's going to be quite fun. So this is a route I run very, very frequently, and we haven't gotten very far, 0.3 of a mile in. This is all paved too, and I feel less stable now. 10-minute pace, maybe it was slow enough that I could like have a longer ground contact time, feel the ground a little more fully before I'm taking my step off. But just going through some like turns here, I'm like right on 8:30 pace, which I'll make another point about in a second, but it feels not the most stable for these turns. So stability, and like if you've got a race that's got a lot of twisting and turning, this does not give me a ton of confidence on that. I would not want to wear this if I were going in circles around something. Still feels fun on the bounce side of things, but I want to be going straight and I want to be going flat. Now, the other thing I was going to say is this feels like it's giving me all the control I want over my pace. I did a long rant in one of my Spectre videos about like it almost bullying you to go fast, and I have complete control here. I'm like dead on pace, maybe a smidge behind because I'm not trying to push, but I'm very impressed with that. A lot of times race shoes, I feel like just because there's so much bounce to them that they kind of force you to go too fast, but I'm not getting that with this, which I do really like. Also, to the point about like the pace that you're running in the shoe, like if you're a 10-minute paced runner and you love the shoe, phenomenal, fantastic. Wear it, totally 100%. I never ever want to gatekeep shoes from people. Just like general context, getting at it in. And with these really high energy return shoes, you are getting a benefit no matter what pace you're running. If you're running in this versus a Pegasus, you get better energy return from this, regardless of your pace. So just want to make sure I said that out loud to you guys. Talk about control, 8:30, 99, within a second of goal pace. Really good things to see. Additional context for you guys, because like that's what a lot of this comes down to, is you guys gaining more context on how this feels to somebody who may have run in a lot of shoes. I don't want to go running on all of this. This is more unstable than I'd want to be in. It's just a little gravel road. 8:30 pace felt good. Nothing really crazy to report there. I felt like the Hoka Cielo felt a little more fun to me. I took that out of its box not terribly long ago, and it just felt very enjoyable. This feels like it might be just a little more aggressive. So for those who want an aggressive feeling shoe that is still fun, very smooth, high energy return, this might make sense if you're doing like a 5K, 10K half marathon at 8:30 pace or faster, potentially. The next mile, I won't do it. I'm not going to be bad. I don't want to go run this in 6 flat or 550, even though I feel like I probably could. I want to take this as I take all of my other first run reviews, where I want to have a good pace, something faster than 7-minute pace. I'm not going to look at the watch for the first half there, the first half mile, because I want to take just what the shoe's giving me at a very comfortable pace. If I then feel good, like some of the last shoes I've tested, like the Nike Structure Plus, didn't want to go fast. That was not what it was digging. The Hoka Clifton Pro did not want to go fast. The second half of those miles, I was fading, because I'm also doing my long run in this of 16 miles. I want to make sure I've got plenty left in the tank for the rest of that run. So we're going to go back at a reasonable pace, and then we'll break down this shoe after we get 6 total. Kind of forgot about this. I was just kind of in the zone running. So I think we'll be over the normal time of half a mile. Let's see. I've actually not looked yet. Oh, that was not expected. 7:02 is odd. I don't know that I've got a good answer for that. I don't know if I'm down regulating or what, but that's not fast. Like, you know, the day matters, but an Evo SL being at, oh, we got some youngins to go around. Whoosh, have a good day. Evo SL running 6:15 versus this, like, yeah, I don't know. I'll pick the pace here a little bit for the last half. Wow, 6:54, would not have expected it. I don't have a good answer. I feel fine. Let's see, heart rate disagrees. It is pretty hot out, but heart rate said 188. Maybe that's on me. Maybe that's on me. I don't know. But the shoe wasn't giving me like, yeah, you need to go faster vibes. I don't know. I might switch into the Spectra early. I don't see any reason to put extra wear on these if we're not like doing anything with it. I'm a little disappointed in that. Well, I'm going to go switch. We'll run about a mile more back to the car. So we'll get 4 in this. I don't know. Odd. I'll see you over there and break it down. Wow, man, color me disappointed. I don't know if it is really hot out right now. I am at the end of a 3-week block that's been really hard physically. But I just thought I was going to get more juice out of this. So whether it is me or someone else, or like something else like training or whatnot, I still feel like I expected more out of this. I don't even know if this is a shoe I'm going to hold on to. This might be a resell. It's got less than 10 miles on it. Tread looks awesome. I mean, it looks so sick. And watching the videos where it gets squished in the forefoot and the heel, I just expected a lot out of it, and I don't know. I feel like I was a little bit let down on this one. So is this the best racing shoe of 2026 still? I'm gonna have to go towards no. Immediately on hand, the Cielo, I'm thinking back to a run I did in it, and I was like, oh wow, this is really fun. I could really pull for this for my marathon. And there's no shot I'm pulling for this for a marathon. If it's faster than a marathon, like a 10K or a 5K, I've got a lot of options, whether it would be a Skechers Aero Razor, which is just incredibly light, kind of more like a flat or like an Alpha Fly, which feels more aggressive. My only problem with that is its weight. Yeah, I just don't think this is something I'd pull for again. So who's it for? Who's it not for? Somebody that wants a really cushy feeling racer that maybe doesn't need it to go as fast. Somebody who has a very, very, very neutral gait, which admittedly, like I didn't have much stability concern in terms of overpronating, like rocking inwards, but going around turns and stuff, it was not the most confidence inspiring. Who's it not for? Anybody that needs a really stable platform, that needs a wide width. So the toe box was actually pretty accommodating. It just didn't feel like it was super wide for me. Like I've got a very standard fit foot. It felt like it had enough, but I don't think this is one where you would want to have a really wide foot and try and rock this guy. It felt fine with the heel striking. It felt fine more up on my forefoot. But that's kind of it on that front. Value at $160, if you like the way it feels, very good deal. Normally like a $300 shoe that you can get for $160, like that's pretty good. You can get them even cheaper than that. Like, as I said, I bought this and I was at $100 on them. And then in terms of a rotation, obviously race day shoes live in race day world. Just depends on if you like the shoe or not, if you want to race in it. I think that's all I've got for this. We're gonna take this straight into the Spectre video, and I'm really interested how this goes, because I did 4 miles here, so I've got 12 more in the Spectre on some seemingly pretty tired legs and some decent heat and humidity. So let's go ahead and hop into that.